do 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 do. Hey, Cyndilu of the beBOLDyou podcast broadcast, whatever it is we're calling that this week. And I'm here to bring you another amazing guest, Ola. And I'm going to let Ola say her last name so I don't screw it up. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you. But right before I do that, I want to make sure if you've never met me before, my name is Cyndilu and I'm the founder and creator of the beBOLDyou Personality Expression System. Today's show is sponsored by the Becoming Bold You book, and you can get that by going to cyndilu.com/BBY book, and you will be able to find that. Awesome. So I am so excited. I met Ola on Clubhouse in a room, and her story of what she's doing in the world so impacted me that I basically was like thinking, how do I impact the world? Like, how am I impacting the world? How is what we're doing in the world? How is what we believe in? How is all that we are impacting the world around us? And we have so much opportunity to impact the world. I'm going to share with you, Ola, today. We're going to be off camera. So I came on camera long enough to tell you we're going to be off camera, but I'll still be able to see your comments and share those. So let's get started. All righty. Miss Ola, would you please introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me on. My name is Ola. I am an artist from Brooklyn, New York. Hey.
Hey. Brooklyn, New York. I love New York. It's such a great place to visit. And I'm not sure about living there, but I have family members who live there. I have a niece who lives there and a sister-in-law. So I definitely have been to the city a bit, and I really, really love it. So we're going to talk a little bit today about the Free Black Women's Library. And that's a social art project, an interactive installation and book collection that celebrates the brilliance, diversity, and imagination of Black women writers. I love this topic, and I'll tell you why. I have been connected to a group of Black writers for the last 2 or 3 years, and I love being a part of that community, and I love supporting them, and they have supported me in my own writing journey. So when I heard about this, I just wanted to share it with the world. Can you tell us, what is a social art project, and what is this more like about?
Yeah, sure. So basically, social art is any type of creative way of building community, using different things as a foundation to connect with other people, curating space, shaping space, just creating like a whole vibe, you know? And my project, which I started 5 years ago, is we basically use books written by Black women as the foundation for the work. And when I first started it, it was with 100 books, and it was on a brownstone stoop in Brooklyn, New York. And now the library has grown to a collection of over 3,000 books. And it's pretty cool. The library travels all over New York City and sometimes outside of New York City. And every month we're in a different location. And what happens is, for every book you bring, you get to take a book, as long as it's written by a Black woman or a Black non-binary writer. It doesn't matter what genre it is, doesn't matter if it's a classic or contemporary. You are welcome to trade with the collection. And in addition to trading books with the library, you can also engage with it by participating in some form of public programming. So we have workshops, we have literary games, we have performances, we have readings where authors will come and read excerpts of their work and take questions about their writing practice or about publishing. So there's different ways that people can plug in. And one of the key things that's really important about a social art project is that it feels inclusive and that it feels accessible, and that it feels like something that is actually nurturing people's lives. So I make it a point to have books for children, books for young adults, books on every topic you could imagine. I make it a point to make sure that the library is always in a space that can be accessed by different types of people, different age ranges, people who might move with a wheelchair or might move with a cane, or parents who might move with a stroller. I want to make sure that the place is safe for all different body types. And I want to make sure that, you know, no matter what your interests are, there'll be something there for you. So I try to keep the collection as diverse as possible, and I try to keep the programming that takes place as interesting and as relevant as possible.
So how did you, like, where did this idea come from? I'm like, how do you, like, fill up what is it, a bus, or is it what houses this library? What kind of vehicle do you have that houses this library? Is it a van? Is it a...
Well, I actually don't have a vehicle yet. I just recently launched a crowdfunding campaign to raise money for a vehicle because
Okay.
I want to get some type of van or a bus and convert it into a bookmobile. So,
Yeah.
you know, right since I started the project in 2015, I've mainly been using car service to get the books around. And I've also had friends who've given me support by driving me around. So every month is different, but it's always kind of like a precarious situation. Like I'm never really sure how I'm going to get the books from one place to another. Sometimes I'll just like write something on social media like, hey, can anybody give me a ride to such and such place?
Come on, girl.
But
For those people who think you've got to have it all figured out before you can do something, that you have to have everything together.
right.
Hello, that just got blown right out of the freaking water.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think that it's best to just like do it and just try to figure out a way to make it work. Like if I had waited until I had a bus or a certain amount of money to do it, I would have been missing out, and the people who enjoy the library would have definitely been missing out because, it takes a long time to get all the things you need. Like, I'm living in New York City. New York City is a rough city. New York City is an expensive city. I'm a cash poor single mom, a Black woman, and it's not like I have access to unlimited funds and unlimited time, but I wanted to do something that really centered just the imagination and the creativity of Black women writers. Like I really wanted to do something that's kind of celebrated that and amplified all of the beautiful literature that's available, all the beautiful writing that's available to folks that Black women have given. I see a lot of stuff in the press, in the media. These days, it's a little bit more diverse as far as what's being pushed, but back then it really wasn't the case, and it's still not the case in some parts of the country and in some parts of the world. Like there are still people who will go through all of elementary school and high school and maybe even college and not read a Black woman's writing, which to me is a shame. So, this part of the project is just like, hey, like if you love books and you love reading, here's some good stuff for you to check out.
It's still blowing me away that you don't have a vehicle and that you've been doing. When did you start this?
I started it in 2015, in the August of 2015. Well, not the August, in the spring of 2015, I started collecting the books.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been 5 years, and thanks to all the people who've donated to my GoFundMe, I should be able to have a vehicle this year.
Yeah, that is so exciting. I've actually put the GoFundMe link in the comments so folks can definitely donate to that if they'd like to help you to get that vehicle so that you can get the books out easier, because you're already getting them out. Like, you're not letting it stop you.
Yeah, I'm very stubborn and very determined. So
Go, girl. That's how you need to be in this world sometimes.
yeah. Yeah, like I have this there's this mantra that I tell myself often. I don't know who said this quote originally, but it says don't be afraid to go out on the limb because that's where the fruit is. That's one of my favorite mantras. So,
Okay,
like,
that is awesome.
I
And
don't
you have
I don't
go
know who
ahead.
said it originally, but I really love it because I love fruit.
Well, you have now answered one of the 10 questions that I ask during my beBOLDyou interviews. And that is one that usually gets people stuck. What phrase or quote encourages you the most? You have just given us that. So
Oh, wow.
let me ask you some of these other questions that are on here.
Okay.
So, what's your favorite color?
Mm,
I know.
wow. Um, that's challenging because I'm a visual person. I'm an artist. I'm a set decorator for film and TV. So I love color. I love texture. I will can I will I'm gonna have to choose more than one. I'm sorry. I really love yellow. I really love golden yellow. I really love pink.
Okay.
And I really love pomegranate.
Ooh, nice.
The color of pomegranate juice is like so beautiful. I love the color of yellow, like sunflowers, and then I love a really soft pink. I think those three colors are my favorite colors, and I like chocolate brown. I like teal. Teal is really beautiful. It's hard for me to choose. I love so many colors.
That's awesome. There's some people that they know exactly what color it is. I always used to say rainbow because, like, I'm the same way. Like, I just love color. So you can't ask me what my favorite color is because I'll just give you the word rainbow. So, do you consider yourself more introverted or extroverted?
Definitely more introverted. I'm extremely shy, extremely introverted. I prefer listening over talking. I like quiet. I enjoy being alone. I'm a very solitary person. I wish I was more extroverted though.
It's okay. We need both.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I was more extroverted only because it seems like extroverted people get more attention and get more of what they want.
Okay, so here's the thing with Clubhouse, right? You don't have to be on screen. We're not on screen today. There are ways to get your message out without having to be on screen. And
Yes,
I was happy to do that for you today. And yeah, there are people who they don't want to be seen, right? They want it, but they want to be heard. They still
exactly.
want to be heard.
Yes,
And that is one of my favorite things about books and people writing stories is that you get your voice heard,
yeah.
right? You get to write it out and put it out there. And it lives on beyond you, beyond your lifetime, which is so cool. So, what energizes you?
Mm,
I know these are
that's a
just,
good question.
it is a good question.
Yeah, what energizes me? I would say trying new things, learning new ways to express myself, new ways to be creative, new ways to make art.
Awesome.
Um, since the panorama started, it kind of forced me to turn my attention inward and really kind of focus on my own creative practice. So, I've been blessed with the opportunity to take like a weaving class, which I've never weaved before. And I really love it. And it really got me excited and really open, like the beautiful things that you can do with thread. I took a stop motion animation class, so I've been making short films, and that's been really, really awesome. So I would say learning new things and new ways to be creative get me kind of hype and open and it, energized. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
awesome. I love that. And what is the most exotic place you've ever visited?
Mm.
Might be Upper Manhattan.
I mean, I don't know because I don't even know what to what it means to be like exotic. Like what is exotic exactly?
What is the most interesting place you've ever visited?
The most interesting place. Um Maybe Vietnam.
Okay, that's exotic to my brain.
Yeah,
You know why? Because the colors, the people, everything is so. I've not been there. My uncle fought in the Vietnam War, so Vietnam is very near and dear to my heart. He brought me home when I was 3 or 4 years old, a little outfit from Vietnam, and that was the first time that my heart connected to a people of not my color, a people who didn't look like me.
oh,
And ever since then, I have always rooted for people of color.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't categorize it as exotic, but I found it to be extremely interesting because it was so different from New York. And
Yeah.
I loved it. I had such a good time. The food was incredible. The people are really nice. The culture is amazing. And it felt really exciting to be in a place where I wasn't, where no one looked like me and no one looked like anyone that I had ever seen. And just to be surrounded by that was like
Yeah.
really, really cool. And then I went on a lot of, but because I'm also a yoga teacher and I am within my yoga practice, I also teach meditation. So it was kind of like a meditation, kind of spiritual type of trip.
Okay.
So we went to these like really sacred, beautiful mountains and caves that were basically temples. And so that was my first time like being inside of a cave and being in a mountain and seeing like different types of altars and walking through spaces where just, there's animals, like where you just see like a monkey on a tree, and
Sounds
even,
like such a unique experience.
yeah, it was pretty incredible. Like I would either say there and then also like Costa Rica. Like Costa Rica was my favorite trip of all time. Um,
Okay.
I would live there if I could. But but it wasn't as interesting as Vietnam, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Costa Rica's like gorgeous, like beaches, beautiful, you know. Whereas Vietnam is like, wow, there's so much going on, especially the part I was in.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's hard for me to choose one place because I've been to a lot of interesting places. I've also been to Thailand and Brazil, Paris, Mexico City, and every place has something that just kind of taught me a new way of seeing the world and just helped to shift my perspective because sometimes living in America, it feels like, oh, America is it and that's it and nothing else is important. But then leaving the country is like, oh, wow, there's like other
Yeah.
things going on in the world that don't got nothing to do with America.
When we leave the American ground, now I live in New Zealand currently, so I've left it. But when we first leave it and we go to another country, we go to another place, we are starkly faced with the reality that the whole world doesn't live like we do. The
Right.
whole world doesn't understand the American way, although much of the world is attempting to become the American way, at least of years past. I'm not sure about right now, but there's just so much in the world to explore, to see. And it's one of the reasons I asked that question, is it's an opportunity for us to take some people on a bit of a journey, the same as books are, right? The books can do the same thing. So this next question might be a little bit unfair for me to ask you, because it is, what book are you reading now? You have a whole library.
Well, I'm reading a couple of books right now because I usually read more than one book at a time. So the first book I'm reading is called The Black Feminist Reader, and it's a collection of essays, 10 essays that all kind of explore Black feminism as a concept, some from a literary perspective, some from a psychological perspective, some from a political perspective. So it's edited by Joy James and Denise Sharpley, and it includes essays like by people like Toni Morrison and Bell Hooks. So I'm reading that. Also rereading Wayward Lives, Beautiful Experiments, written by Saidiya Hartman, which is incredible. It's one of the best books out there. And I'm also reading a book called Luster, which is my fiction. So the first two are nonfiction, and then the last one is fiction.
Okay. What has been your favorite age?
Oh, wow. That's a really hard question. I would say somewhere in the late 20s, possibly.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard to say.
I know every age has got something in it.
Yeah. Okay, so my daughter's 19, so I would say maybe like 31, 32.
Okay. And do you create to live or live to create?
Oh, create to live. I live to create.
Awesome. And name the person who's had the most influence on your life, and they can be dead or alive.
The person with the most influence on my life. I'm gonna have to choose two people. I'm gonna have to say my daughter and my dad.
Oh, I love that. Our children definitely change our lives, don't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, redirection.
For real. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. The last question that I have of the 10 beBOLDyou questions is, what one word describes you best? She likes the question.
Oh my goodness.
You don't do good with the onesies, but I'm asking you that anyway.
I know. You can tell, right?
I can.
I'll say quirky.
Quirky. I love that word. It's such a great word. So, and now I'm going to ask you that question that I ask a question when I get people, and because I want to make sure that one question that kind of burns within them gets asked. So where do you find the most pleasure or joy in your life?
Wait, say that again.
Where do you find the most pleasure or joy in your life?
The most pleasure or joy. Well, I find I guess when it comes to pleasure, I would say really simple things like eating really, really good food, taking a nap. I'm
Yes. You are my sister.
I'm like a very sensual kind of person. So, maybe taking like a long hot shower with like a really beautiful smelling soap.
Come on.
I don't know. I'm kind of simple. Like,
I love it.
some really good tea that's just like a nicey spicy tea with honey. Like anything that just like tastes good, feels good, smells good. I find a lot of pleasure in that.
Yeah.
And I find pleasure in reading and writing and creating, drawing, being with friends, listening to music, dancing, flirting. um, and when it comes to joy, I find joy in success. I don't know if that makes me sound.
It makes you sound like you find joy in success. That's what it makes you sound like. That's
Yeah, I find joy in
okay.
like setting a goal and accomplishing that goal. I find joy in like just completing tasks and getting things done, So,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I want to ask you a couple more questions about the library.
Okay.
What are the ages that you primarily are finding come and borrow books from the library? Do you have like a particular age group? Is it some areas of the city like more people come? And yeah, I have more questions, but I'll just let you answer those. I'll be quiet.
Well, for the library, I would say it's mainly people in their 20s and 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, as far as who frequent the library. Like the demographic, I would say is probably 25 to 55.
Okay.
So it's kind of a wide span, but yeah, it's and then there's people who just like love books. So, that's so many different types of people. So it's like scholars, it's like writers, it's artists, it's homemakers, it's lawyers, legal professionals, people who work in science and STEM. It's everybody.
So how do they find you? Like, do you put signs up saying I'm coming? Do you announce it? Or do you just pop up in a neighborhood?
I mainly post stuff on social media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever the library is going to, like right now, the library is not doing in-person meetups. So we're meeting
Right.
online, and
Okay.
we're having our reading club meetings over Zoom. So we meet every month and we talk about what we're reading, and we also talk about a chosen text for that month. But when we were meeting in person, I would share information on social media. And then I also have a newsletter with an email list. So I send out a newsletter once a month, letting people know this is where the library is going to be. This is what we're talking about. Please come. Hope to see you. Thank you so much. Like that.
So if they go to the www.thefreeblackwomanslibrary.com, that they can sign up for that email list?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
I have that up on the screen so people can see it, and I will also pop it in the comments after the show. So how do you find the books that go into the library?
I mainly get books donated. I have a lot of publishers who will send me books whenever.
Publishers. Awesome.
Yeah, whenever they have new books coming out and they feel like they want the library to have the book in their collection, or they want to like let me know, hey, there's a new writer on the scene and we think you should check her out. We think that the community you're building will like her work. So they'll send me books. I also have people who don't, writers who send me books. So a lot of the books come from writers and publishers, as well as people who just want to donate books to the collection. Like people might find out about the library through through a platform or reading an article, and they'll just mail me a box of books like, hey, I just heard about your project, and these are my favorite books by Black women that I want you to have in your collection. So I get books from all different sources. They just keep coming. They come from everywhere. I just picked up a box of books today.
How do you get the books out during this time? Do people come and collect them, or are they not able to be shared right now and you're collecting?
They're not able to be shared right now because of the panorama.
Yeah. So, but people can continue to donate, because as soon as this is over and you're allowed to go out and freely connect again, you're going to have the resources available and a vehicle, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes. So excited. What are you looking for a vehicle? Just in case somebody out there had a vehicle and they wanted to like give you a vehicle. You never know.
Oh my God. I was just talking to my friend about that this morning. I said it would be an absolute dream if some type of company just like gave me a bus or a van. But yeah, I'm looking for like basically a bus or a van big enough that I can convert into a mobile. So, it could be a VW, or it could be an Airstream. It could be just like an ice cream truck that I can convert.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a big enough vehicle to hold at least 1,000 books, and be easy to take from place to place.
So, and you would take more than one vehicle, right? Like to be able to expand your ability to get stuff out, or is there only the one driver? You're it. Do you drive?
Yeah, it's just the one. It's just the one. I just need one
vehicle.
One good vehicle. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I need one good vehicle. I need one really nice sized bus.
Awesome. So there's about 3,000 books in the library now.
Yep.
And then people have the books, some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So how many books do you think are in people's hands? Do you keep track of that? Do you track where they go, or do you simply know that if they go, they're in good hands and they continue on?
Are you asking how many books have I traded?
Yeah, like, okay, so you have the 3,000 in the library, and then you have people who have books and they're reading them now.
Yes.
And then they're going to exchange them when they can exchange again, which will come.
Yep.
So about how many books are like out in the public? Do you track how many people have books? Do you track where the books are? Or do you allow people to come in and take the books in exchange for another book? Without tracking where they're going. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I don't track where the books go. The thing I do to kind of archive is every time somebody comes to the library to trade books, I will take a picture of them with the books that they've brought.
Okay.
And the books that they are taking. So if you go to my Instagram, the Free Black Women's Library Instagram, you'll see photos of people with books in their hands. And these are all people that have traded books, and the books in their hands are the books that they've been trading. So when you trade if you bring 2 books and you take 2 books, those 2 books you took are yours to keep.
Okay.
And you can also bring them back and trade them for 2 new ones.
Okay. So you're getting books into people's hands and not necessarily getting them back. You're getting books into people's hands.
Exactly. So
I'm just thinking, if an author wanted to send books to you, they could send you more than one copy, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. I usually, when authors send me their books, they'll send me at least 2 copies, if not like 3 or 4, just so we can have multiples. And, sometimes I'll keep one and make that a permanent part of the collection. And then I'll be open to trading like the other 3. Like if I got 4, for instance, and if you came to the library and traded 2 books and took 2 books, you could fall in love with one of those books and say, oh, this is the best book I've ever read. I want to keep this book forever. So you can keep that book and it just becomes yours. And then that other book that maybe you read and you didn't really like it that much, you can bring it back to the library and trade it for a whole new one. So, it's one of those things where it's a very subjective experience. And it's basically like a chance for you to discover new authors and possibly find your new favorite author.
Awesome. I have brought up your feed in your Instagram, and I'm kind of scrolling through slowly so folks can see that on the screen.
Yeah, I'm doing a little something for Black History Month where I'm posting notable women in like an alphabetical order. So I'm going from A to B to C. And so that's what we're seeing right now.
Nice.
And just talking about like Angela Davis and Cicely Tyson, who just recently passed away.
I know, that was so sad.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. Girl, you got some books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some stuff.
There's Toni Morrison.
Okay, so for those who are wondering what we're looking at, she's telling you some of the things that we're seeing. For those who are not watching the live here, you're just hearing this in the audio form. If you go over to the beBOLDyou at beBOLDyou on Facebook, you'll be able to see this video playing, and it's also playing on the YouTube channel, beBOLDyou with Cyndilu. So you can watch it. All right. I'll just get lost in there. Pieces by Helen. How do you say that? Oyemi?
Helen Oyemi. Yeah, she's an amazing writer from London. She's coming out with a new book called Pieces that I'm really excited about. And she also wrote a book called Gingerbread, another book called Snowy Boy Bird, The Icarus Girl. Her writing is very like fantastical and kind of magic realism, kind of like it's fiction. And it also contains like elements of kind of like the supernatural and ghosts, or yeah, it's very fairy tale-ish. It's interesting. It's like she's a really cool writer.
So we're at the reading club. Tell me what people need to do in order to join your online reading club, since you are now online.
They can go to
Go ahead.
They can go to my Instagram, and in the link in my Instagram is the sign-up sheet for the reading club.
Okay.
Or they can just go to the website, and there's the freeblackwomanslibrary.com. If they go to the website, on the contact page, they can email me through the contact page and say, hey, I want to join the reading club. And then each month they'll get the list of what books we're reading each month. And then they will also get the Zoom links to our monthly meetings, which happen on the last Sunday of the month at 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Awesome. Yep. If they don't have access to get the books that you're reading for that month, is there a way that you're doing that for folks now, or is it kind of we're just on hold?
Yeah, right now we're on hold. Like when it comes to a book distribution, until things get a little more settled with the parallelogram, it's like, yeah, we're just focusing on virtual and connecting virtually. And there are people who come to the reading club meetings who haven't read the book that we're reading. It's really just a chance for us to connect with each other.
That was going to be my next question. Do you have to have read the books? Because I've been to book clubs where you have to have read it. And then I've been to book clubs where you didn't have to have read it. And I love the ones where you didn't have to have read the book, because you get to sit in that room and listen, or on that Zoom, whichever, and listen to the things about that book that other people picked up. And then you decide, do I want to read that book or do I not want to read that book? Like, I love that. I love the ability to discuss a book that I may not have yet read. So, but that's just because I'm a little, I don't know. I like that. I like to hear what people have thought about a book.
Yeah. Yeah. And we also talk about, we talk about books, but we also talk about other things. We talk about how we're doing. We talk about what's going on in the world. We talk about movies and TV shows that we're enjoying. We talk about just what's going on. It's just a chance to connect,
Yeah. Yeah. I was seeing that it was the free gathering, comes with workshops, free film screenings. Do you do film screenings too?
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We, when the library was open, we had film screenings, and now that we're meeting virtually, we had a screening where we watched The Women of Brewster Place, which is based on a book by Gloria Naylor, and it was a TV series that was produced by Oprah Winfrey, based on the book. So we watched that because we were studying Gloria Naylor's work.
Okay.
So we watched that, and then we talked about it afterwards, and it was a great discussion.
That just sounds, it all sounds, every time I hear you talk about it, it just sounds like such an amazing outreach and a unique way to reach people who may not ever have come across these authors.
Right.
And to kind of get that work out. There's a sentence on your website that just made me go, ooh, I like that. It is a community hub, a love letter, and a resource. Tell me a little, unpack that a little for me.
Well, the community hub, it's a space for people to gather and connect with each other and really feel, hopefully feel like they can access connection, access vulnerability, access intimacy, access inspiration, maybe make new friends, build partnerships and collaboration. So, it's a hub for community building, and it's a resource in that it offers different types of workshops and books and, information about anything you might want to learn about. And it's also a literary portal. So in a way, it kind of serves as a love letter to the people that are engaging with the books. Like, here's something beautiful and good just for you, and it's an expression of love for me to share it.
That is awesome. I love that. We don't think about, when we write a book, that we're really sharing a piece of our heart with the world, and it really is like a love letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. Okay, I'm going to bring up the website now that I came up with this fantastic idea of sharing the stuff.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Yeah. Let me grab the website here. For those who are listening, you know where to find it now. It's over on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, so we have, I have to turn off. We're coming. Yep, that's exactly as I want it. Boom. So here's the website, y'all. Tell me about this picture of these women. This is from 1988. And what is this a picture of?
Well, these are some of the icons. These are some of the iconic Black women writers whose works are in the library, and they had a writers retreat in the Caribbean and took this incredible photo. So there's like Sonia Sanchez and June Jordan, and, you know, all of the greats, like all the women whose work I love to share with other people. And I think the photograph really kind of represents like that collectivity,
Mm.
you know, because they're all unique and really special in terms of their writing style. As you know, and in the photo, it's like everybody has their own look, their own style, their own clothing, their own, you know, way that they're rocking their, you know, natural hair. And each of them is, none of them are more worthy than the other, and each of them is bringing like so much value to the collective, and I just love that so much. And I just think it just offers me like a visual of what I want the library to be and feel like when people come in and experience it. I want them to experience like that common thread that exists between all
Yeah.
of these women, but also the specificness of each one of them. Because you have some who write horror, you know, you have some who write science fiction, you have some who write poetry, you have some who write erotica, and you know, some who write nonfiction, historical, political text, and every single one is just awesome, awesome, awesome. So I think that's cool.
That is cool. So I'm going to go to the books tab because I want to see what's there.
Oh yeah, these are some of my book recommendations.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so people are always DMing me, asking me for book recommendations. So I just put some on the site just because I feel like it's really easy to just send folks there, like go here and you'll have exactly what you're looking for based on what your interests are.
What an amazing resource.
Yeah, so people want memoirs, they have like 13 to choose from right there, all awesome memoirs. People want science fiction. There you go. You know.
Oh, I just thought of another friend of mine who's written a sci-fi book. I need to have her send you a copy.
Oh yeah, please.
I'm telling you, girl. History. I have the mother of this woman who wrote the sci-fi book is a historian, so I think she's written something. Yeah, we just be stocking your library, girl.
I can't wait.
Plays. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yep.
Wow. So awesome. What else should we look at on here before we go? We're going to wrap up here in a few minutes.
I mean, we can go to the contact page because I have pictures of Black women librarians on there.
Oh, girl, I love that.
They are, you know, I didn't go to library school. I don't have a master's in or any type of degree in library science, but I have so much reverence and so much respect for librarians and the work that they do, and I feel like they're like the MVPs of society because they're the ones that hold and, you know, take care of and provide the culture, provide access to the culture and to different ideas and to history and to art and the humanities. So
let's honor these women. We're going to make it bigger so people can see it. I'm going to check over here, make sure it's looking like, yep, I'm going to take off the free library thing here. We're going to take that banner off so people can see this. Boom. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are some of the, you know, the first Black women librarians that have existed in this country. And they dealt with a lot of racism, a lot of sexism, and they pushed through. And, you know, some of them helped to create and build projects very similar to the one that I'm building now. So, you know, whenever people try to give me props for the work I'm doing, I always want to make sure it's understood that what I'm doing is not new. Black women have been doing this work for a long time. And I'm hope to just continue the legacy of this work of sharing with the world, sharing books with the world, sharing art with the world, literature, information, in a way that feels accessible and inclusive.
Well, girl, we need to get you a black and white for putting up there at the end of that, because you may not have gone to school for it, but you are absolutely doing the work.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say.
So true. So true.
Thank you.
All righty. What, if you could only tell folks one thing, would you want them to know? Like what? Yeah, a parting words.
Oh my goodness. If you I guess I just encourage people to do whatever it is that they need to do to stay open, to stay present, to stay hopeful. So whether that means reading books or making art or growing food or developing and nurturing new friendships, like that putting that energy out there is really worth it. So I would encourage people to do that, kind of like follow your heart and just stay open, because you never know where your passions can lead.
Again, so blown away by everything that you're doing and the fact that you have not let anything stop you. Sure, the road has not been super smooth. None of our roads are. You have overcome, and you continue to overcome, and you will continue to overcome. And that super excites me. And I'm so glad we connected on Clubhouse, and I look forward to sharing space with you again there soon. And if people are trying to connect with you, there's all of the everything, all the social media ones. I saw you had Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr,
Yep.
and Facebook, all at the Free Black Women's Library.
All over.
All over. They can go to your website, which will pop that up again, www.thefreeblackwomen'slibrary.com, and that's women's plural.
Mm-hmm.
And they can connect with you. They can also go to the GoFundMe that is in the comments. So we will put that in the description of the broadcast also. So folks, actually, they can find it from your website. We'll just send them to your website. And that way, when it ends, we won't have to worry about trying to take something down. So go to the website and you will see that GoFundMe link. If you have a vehicle that you could just donate or sell at a decent price, a discounted price, definitely contact Ola through the website and let her know.
Yes, please.
Yes. She's like, yes. That is her dream at this moment. Her dream right now is to get that vehicle and stock it up and get it ready for that day when they're told you can go outside again. It's coming. It is coming. You will get to go outside again. Life will become a bit more normal, albeit possibly a new normal, but it will still become a bit more normal. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to share your message with the world and to have the opportunity to let folks know how they can help you.
Thank you
Next week, as it has it, my guest is Joyce Black, who is a Black woman editor and author. She has written a couple of books in a series. And I've read her book. It's amazing. And the name of it is escaping me at the moment, but we will be talking about all of that next week. So I'm sure you will end up with a book from Joyce Black for sure.
Yay.
And I find it really interesting that the library was this week and then next week. And so last week I also had a guest on that was uh, All God's Beautiful Girls. So it was all about wearing clothing that made people realize that they are beautifully created beings. And so she's doing that for Black women. And then I have the library. And then next week I have an author who's a Black woman. So I didn't even think about the fact that it was Black History Month. And this has just happened. So I was like, okay, Providence and God, definitely in the middle of it all. So for those who are listening, I will see you again next week with Joyce Black. So look forward to getting together with you again. And remember to always live your life out loud and be bold you.